This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, good morning, everyone. This is Alexandra from the NR Hour Sports Show. This is episode 1026. We are live on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, on all the podcast platforms. So fans, please tune in on our Spreaker app. We are joined by a really special guest. Her name is Alexandra Smith. She's a talented, inspiring, amazing sports journalist out there from TCU. She's just starting TCU University, and man, she's already doing amazing things, covering sports in the industry, and obviously she's representing women in sports in a big way. So I'm looking forward to this interview. And like I said, fans, please tune in. You can ask questions to Alexandra today on our speaker app. So always fan interactions is always amazing on this show. So first of all, how are you and your family doing today, Alexandra? And thank you for joining us today. And like I said, you're amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited for this interview. My family's doing pretty well. I'm doing good. I'm just super excited to get to talk and have a little fun.
Yeah, so let's start off with your childhood. And when did you get interested in the sports industry? And who would you say that who did you look up to growing up on the women's side?
So I've always really been interested in sports. I played soccer growing up. I am a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. So every Sunday, yeah, go Cowboys. Every Sunday it was like me and my dad were really the only big sports fans. So we would watch the Cowboys growing up. So that was my entry into sports. And then I would play, like, throw spirals outside. He taught me how to kick football. But looking up to people, I really started noticing the women in sports. I think the first person I was introduced to was Erin Andrews, and I was like, hey, she's having a lot of fun out there. This looks like something I would want to do. How do I get into this? And I remember asking my dad, and he was like, it's tough, but I know you can do it. And I was like, I think I really want to do this. And I started looking at the other women like Pam Oliver and Laura Oakman. And then I started looking more into other women. And I just was like, this is definitely what I want to do. I feel very inspired. And this is what I feel like I need to be doing.
Yeah, speaking of Laura Oakman, Tony Wetmore spoke highly of her. Obviously, she's one of Tony's mentor, like you. So what's that been like, having a woman like Laura Oakman being a mentor for both of you guys in the sports industry, and also being part of Galvanize also?
Gosh, it's probably the most incredible thing I've ever been a part of. It's a big part of my life now. Laura is absolutely the most supportive human being I think I've ever encountered. Not even knowing people, she just reaches out. Like, before I was in Galvanize, obviously we were strangers essentially, and she was still so supportive, and she acted like she had known me my entire life. She's very optimistic. Everything she says is positive. She's just such a strong human being, and she doesn't just leave you after Galvanize. I mean, she's every day. She asks us to do certain things. She's helping us. Like, we had a situation a few days ago where a couple of the girls were involved, and she essentially put out a big statement on Twitter and helped advocate for us. And it's really, it's a feel-good moment to know you have somebody so big in the sport, like, it's your back all the time. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, so tell our fans, whoever doesn't know about Galvanize, can you speak more on that, if you don't mind?
Yeah, of course. So Galvanize is a program by Laura Oakman. She founded it, and it's essentially where you apply to go to one of her boot camps. She does them at a few different stadiums. I know I just finished the Cowboys one. She does the Jaguars one, and the one upcoming is the LA Chargers. So we go in, and it's usually about 20 to 24 women who are from everywhere, all different levels of sports, all different industries, all different ages. I was one of the youngest at the camps, but we had, I think at the Jaguars camp, there was like a 52-year-old, I want to believe. But I mean, there's ages ranging from 17 to all over the place. Yeah. And so we get in a room and it's a 2-day camp where she mentors us and she teaches us all the ins and outs, and it's really about vulnerability and digging so deep. Essentially, we don't talk about sports at all the first day, which I know it sounds weird, but it's so interesting to just learn about other people and the industry itself. And she just comes in there and she tells us all these things, and she opens up with her vulnerable story, and then we get to know our Galvanize sisters and we do our vulnerable story. And then the next day is when we get presented with the football aspect of the camp, where we go in and we interview rookies and we ask them their why, their off the field, their stories. It's really difficult to kind of get that from them, but Laura definitely, it's Galvanize just is something that I think is essential because it teaches you different parts of, especially reporting, the vulnerability, the why. And I didn't know that before I went into Galvanize, and a lot of the women also didn't know their whys and such, as well as we make those connections with other women in sports, and you have your strong sisterhood behind you for the rest of your career.
Oh yeah, that's Laura's doing an amazing job with that platform for you guys, giving you guys another outlet to get into the sports industry, and I think it's truly amazing what she's doing with that for you guys. And we are live with sports journalist Alexandra Smith. We already have a fan question for you in here. Yeah, someone wants to know. Someone wants to know. Speaking of interviews, they want to know, who would you say your most memorable interview you've done so far?
I'd have to say this last one that I did at the Dallas camp with Galvanize. I got the pleasure of meeting Aaron Hansford, former A&M player, now as a rookie on the Dallas Cowboys. And I was able to really connect with him. He was so welcoming. I was very nervous. He was very, very easy to talk to, very welcoming. He was like, this is amazing. Our rookies don't know when we're walking in, they don't know we're coming. They just think Laura's speaking. So I walked in and he was like, what's going on? And I was explaining what Galvanize was, and he was like, that's amazing. That is so awesome. And it felt really good to have a genuine reaction from a player, especially talking about like the media or women in sports, to have a positive reaction from the players. So I definitely think that Aaron was the most memorable and definitely my most inspirational one. He had a lot from his story that I took away, and a lot going forward that I'm excited to watch him in the future.
So he's the Cowboys picked him up just in this off season, rookie. He's a rookie still.
Yes, he is part of the rookie class. So I'm very excited to see how he goes and does his career. And he definitely mentioned to me, he was like, I can't wait to see you out on the field. See you in a little bit. And I was like, me too. So yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of being at Cowboys camp and obviously exploring the stadium, I'm sure you went into the stadium and the amazing facility they have. And how special is that for you, especially your father and your family being Cowboy fans also? And what's that experience like been like for you being there?
I'd say it was pretty surreal. So we were at the Star, which is their training facility in Frisco, Texas. And I had been there before, but not on the level of like having access to all the different spots. And we actually parked in the player parking, and we were met by Rob Davis, and we were on the phone with Mike McCarthy, the head coach of the Cowboys. That was crazy. I was like, whoa. And like we saw where all the players park, where all the coaches park, where Jerry Jones parks. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in this facility. Like, this is where they're at. And we got to eat breakfast and lunch there. They have this incredible cafeteria. And I was just like, this is what I see on TV every week. Like, this is where they're at. This is crazy. And I mean, it's an outstanding facility. And it makes me feel good because it's like this facility, there's opportunities. Like I'm glad that they're being treated well at this really nice place. And then it's just growing up being a Cowboys fan. I was kind of in awe. I was just like, oh my gosh. And most of my Galvanize sisters weren't from Texas, so it was an experience for them because it was, Texas football. It's a big thing. So I came home and I told my dad all about it, and he was in awe. He was like, what? No way. That's so freaking cool. Like, wow. So it was surreal in itself just being there.
Well, how about them Cowboys? Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have another fan question for you. They want to know, back in high school, they want to know what's that one piece of advice that you got that got you here at this point?
It's probably gonna sound like overused or whatever, but definitely just think of what other people have to say. Definitely for me, I was really scared just because I graduated high school about 2 months ago. And for me, it was really scary to kind of open up what I was doing sports wise to like all my hometown friends and high school friends, like on Instagram and stuff. I was scared of what they were going to have to say. And I remember talking to a few of my like close friends, and they were like, Alex, why do you care? Like, who cares? They're going to go do their own thing and they can talk if they want to. You know what you're doing, you know your intentions. If this is what you really want to do, you have to, from within, definitely think about that. And for me, that was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I need to believe in myself. In my going back to the high school part, I had a couple coaches that were like, that's awesome. Like I'm confident that you're gonna be able to do that. And so from their confidence in me, I gained a level of believing in myself. So I'd say just believe in yourself, whatever you want to do. That's my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah, so for you, when it came to colleges, obviously after you graduated. By the way, congrats on your graduation.
Thank you.
Yeah, so obviously you graduated recently. But when it came to choosing a college, what were the biggest factors for you choosing TCU?
Definitely who I looked up to. I think so like you were interviewing Tony, she is in an incredible program in Oklahoma, and I looked at the program that she's into, but ultimately I didn't think I wanted to move states and go out of state. So TCU was a good distance from home, but a big factor was their sports broadcasting part and their Bob Schaefer College of Communications. And a couple of different people that I looked up to that are in that program, like Natalie Mitchell and Maggie Hale, are definitely people that I was following on Instagram. And I was like, hey, TCU is giving them a lot of opportunities. This is one of the biggest schools in Texas. It was difficult to get into. It's a good distance from home. They have a great program. I toured it. I toured the Schaefer College of Communications. And I was like, I kind of fell in love with it. I was like, this is great. I met a couple of professors. I was like, yeah, this is where I want to be. I think I'll do the best and thrive here and have a good amount of opportunities to base my career off of.
Well, yeah, so while you were at the Cowboys training facility in Frisco, did you get to meet Jane Slater or Tay Stern, two other Cowboys reporters? And if so, if not, are you planning to connect with them soon too?
So I was not able to meet with them at my time at the Star. I met with Rob Davis and Scott Ogulnik, who is the PR guy at the Star in Frisco. It was kind of like a day. It was a random Tuesday, so a lot of people were on vacation. I think Mike McCarthy was on vacation. That's why he wasn't there. So we were on the phone. Laura like called him and we said good morning and stuff. I do look forward to meeting them. Hopefully. That's one of my goals for sure. Definitely to engage more with the Cowboys that's the goal, like working for your favorite sports team. Obviously, that would be the dream come true. So yes, I hope to engage with them in the future.
Well, yeah. So we have another fan question, and they want to know how you're going to balance out your school schedule and going to classes and while working at the same time as being a sports journalist.
Well, so I think of myself as a pretty organized and well-balanced person. So in high school, I was dual enrolled. I did college at the same time to get my associate's degree. So I kind of figured out as early on how to balance that and my social life. So I think going into college, being in a new city, a new place, having to make new friends, it's going to be a little bit more stressful. I hope to work while studying, to get internships as many as possible, do that kind of stuff. The way it's set up, I have my schedule. I tried to make it as flexible as possible for me to be able to have those opportunities, in the afternoon, try to get all my classes in the morning. I think definitely I'm going to try to stay as organized as possible. And I'm a morning person, so I plan my morning stuff, like the important stuff, classes in the morning, labs, and then have like internships, work, going to the gym, socializing more in the afternoon. So I hope to balance it like that. It's going to be a big change, especially first semester, but I hope I'm able to balance it as well as possible.
Yeah, I think obviously there's going to be opportunities for you, I'm sure, to work for TCU Sports on campus. And are you planning to take that advantage if they give you opportunity to cover some TCU Sports down the line?
Absolutely. I am a big TCU football fan. Football is like my favorite sport. I was watching them during their last baseball season, so I'm very excited for that, as well as just being in the area with so many sports. Dallas, Fort Worth area, you got the Dallas Stars, Dallas Cowboys, the Rangers, as well as Panther City lacrosse. So I hope that as well as working for TCU, I hope to get more opportunities with the surrounding sports in the area.
We have another fan question that just came in. They want to know what music do you like to get into the zone?
I'm trying to think on this one. I usually listen to my gym playlist like before I do anything. So in the car when I'm driving to interviews or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna hype me up type of thing. I use my gym playlist. So, I got some Rihanna on there, some a lot of Pitbull. I'm a big Pitbull person. But definitely hype music because, gets you in the zone. I also listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't listen to that much music. I listen to a lot of podcasts. So yeah.
Who's your favorite podcast now to listen to?
Oh gosh. So this is really weird, but I have such a short attention span when it comes to like music and stuff. So, and I'm a big reader, so I like to listen to audiobooks in the car when I'm driving. And true crime podcasts are my favorite because they're really interesting to me, as well as I don't know if you're familiar with Aaron Andrews and Carissa Thompson's Calm Down podcast. I love them.
Yeah.
Yes. They do sports, but they also do life, and it's just them talking, and it's really, really funny, and I like to listen to them because it's inspiring to me.
Yeah, so I want to tell you about actually about women in sports and what do you like what do you like the growth about it? Obviously, it's still growing, but it is making big improvements for you guys. And I have a team of 12 people on my team on the show, and 5 of them are females who works with me, and I'm giving every opportunity to females to start their journey in sports industry. And so, what do you like about the growth of it for you guys?
I definitely, when I was younger, as like a preteen, and I was getting into establishing what I wanted to do. So, looking up to the sports broadcasters, and definitely female coaches at my school were a big inspiration for me. And there weren't many, but they suddenly there were more, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Like they coached the guys' sports. They didn't just coach the girls' sports. And being a female athlete as well, it was relieving almost when I started to see the industry kind of grow towards more females being involved, because it was definitely worrisome when you would tell people like, hey, yeah, I want to be a sports broadcaster, I want to work in sports, and they'd be like, oh, that's gonna be hard, it's male dominated, like how are you gonna do that? And it's like, well, look at these women that are trailblazing, like they're doing amazing. And it's like, I think we need more. I think we need more people to not have faith in our up and coming women in sports, because it definitely helps. There's so many more organizations and small businesses and different platforms where it's just women in sports, and I'm so excited to see that it from everywhere. And it's just from growing up, being younger, to seeing where it is now, it's definitely relieving. I love being a part of Galvanize, the sisterhood that I'm a part of, and seeing so many other organizations like Galvanize popping up. It's like, yeah, okay, this is cool. Like, I'm really glad to see this. And definitely just seeing more women have faith in each other and being there for each other, because it used to be kind of catty, kind of like a clique. But definitely I was so shocked to be a part of Galvanize and how quickly everyone became such good friends, such good mentors, because everybody's at a different step. And it's very intimidating walking into a room full of women who have worked for ESPN, who have worked for Bleacher Report, who have worked with Erin Andrews, who have, done all this kind of stuff. And I just graduated high school and I was very scared. But then walking in, it's like everybody is the same. And for me, I've encountered that in everything, and I'm very lucky. Now there are, there's people everywhere that are still catty or whatever, but I think just watching this industry grow for women is so inspiring, and I really like that I'm a part of it now and looking into it. I'm just blessed and excited to be a part of it.
We have a fan question for you. They want to know, what is the scouting report on Alexandra Smith as a soccer player?
Oh gosh. Okay. So I started playing soccer when I was four-ish, I think. And I ended my little soccer career when I was like 15, 16. I just played like club level. So I went to a pretty small school, so we didn't have like a soccer team or anything. So I played club around my town and for a couple different teams. It wasn't very big. It was just kind of like a little recreational activity. We went to state, I believe. But it was soccer was definitely my side hobby. I was a competitive dancer, so soccer was like my outlet from that. It was being on the field and learning to be with different athletes and coaches and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was short-lived, but it was fun.
And also, someone wants to know, if you were not in the sports industry, what would you be doing now?
Probably business. Or finance, something like that. I was big into learning about the stock market in high school and doing that kind of stuff. So I could definitely see myself doing that as like a side hustle type of thing, but it was always my plan B if the sports didn't work out. But I'm very hopeful that my plan A works out.
Hey, you're killing it right now so far. Amazing. I mean,
Thank you.
you didn't even
Thank
start
you.
college. You didn't even start college yet, and you're already killing it.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, no, anytime. I'm here for you. My team is here for you if you need anything. That's for sure. But
Thank you. That's amazing.
yeah. So for you though, I'm gonna. What are you most looking forward to when you start TCU University and when the classes start? But what are you most looking forward to for your next 4 years there, or whatever, how long you
Yeah.
spend?
I am looking forward to branching out of my hometown and being in a new area and having so many more opportunities and definitely meeting new people. I went to a small high school. It was the same people. I lived in a small town, it was the same people you'd see everywhere. And I think moving to Fort Worth is going to be an experience in itself. And TCU is a phenomenal school. Everybody's so welcoming. The classes are going to be difficult. It's going to be a little different, but I'm definitely excited to actually go to class because my last 2 semesters were online due to COVID. So I'm very excited to be able to go to class, meet professors, meet other people interested in what I'm doing, interested in sports, having a big sports team as opposed to a small little high school, basketball, swim type of thing. Um, but yeah, meeting people, having more opportunities, and branching out are what I'm most excited for at TCU in Fort Worth.
Yeah, so speaking of COVID, obviously it was a tough time for everyone, especially when the school shut down and everybody was home and
Mhm.
working from the laptops or whatever. So for you as a sports journalist, what have you learned from the past 2 years now, obviously 2022, but what have you learned from that COVID season as a sports journalist?
Definitely take as many shots as you can into the sports world. It's a tough industry, and I know you know that as well. It's very tough to be in this industry. Um, just take all the shots that you're given, and if they don't work out, move on to the next one. It was tough to get any sort of like business really because all the sports were shut down, and you feel bad for the athletes because they lost everything that they know. Like, what are they doing now? Just little trainings and stuff like that. They're not getting to play their games. And then also for fans, it was devastating because that was their outlet. Their sports is such an outlet for so many people that it was hard when all that shut down. It was like, what's next? What do we do? What do we there's so many different factors, reporters, athletes, trainers, coaches. It's like the fans, what do we do now that sports are shut down? This is a business, and it's taken away from so many people's lives. It was kind of a learning experience for all. And I during that time I took as many opportunities as I could to advance myself and to learn. I definitely read a lot that time because there wasn't much else to do. But everybody was at home. So I was talking to people. I was reaching out on Instagram. I was like, hey, I know I'm like 16, 17, but what did you do at this point in your career to further your knowledge and further where you're at? And how did you get to where you're at? And I think the opportunities that I took there during COVID definitely helped me to be where I am now.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's amazing. And so someone just said by listening to this show, you're already a star. Someone said, one of our fans.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And I asked Tony this, and do you have any bloopers yet?
Yes, I have. So we just got our tapes back from Dallas, and it's not that much of a blooper. I've seen some funny ones, but my bloopers, I was up there doing my stand up, and then I like all of a sudden just stopped
Mhm.
talking. I like lost confidence, and Laura came in the camera and started giving me like a pep talk, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, I got it. And then, like it's just funny to it's to see your bloopers, and you just laugh at yourself. You're like, hey, whatever, I'm human. Let me just rerun this. It's fine. I was very nervous about having bloopers, and the girls at the camp were like, girl, do you want to see my bloopers? They're like 4 minutes long. So watching them, I was like, okay, this is fun. Have fun with it. And Laura was like, you need to have fun. Like, we got a good stand up. Just have fun with it. Be you. Put your personality in it. There's so many people doing the same thing. Throw your personality in it. Laugh a little. Have a blooper. They're funny to look at. They're funny to show people. It shows that you're human. So yeah, I have a couple. They're not too funny, but I'll probably have a few more coming soon. So
Yeah. So speaking of, this is an interesting question. Someone wants to know. Obviously, a lot of people get criticized or something. So they want to know, how do you deal with the outside distractions?
So it's all about the confidence thing, being surrounded by confident women, people that are encouraging you, that have all done it before, that know that there's hate from the outside, that there's people talking. People are going to talk anywhere. They're always going to have something to say. And it's just knowing your intentions, knowing your confidence, knowing you can do it type of thing. I just kind of block it out. I think I definitely had to learn how to do that. I haven't always been like that, but having that support and knowing, hey, it doesn't matter. Like, what are these people doing? Like, I mean, they're saying something on Twitter, they're doing this on Instagram, they're posting this, they're like, hey, whatever, she messed up. Like, you're human. Have you ever messed up type of thing? It's everybody messes up. It's you're new, whether you're new, whether you're a veteran in this industry, you mess up, and it's just knowing that you can do it, having that faith in yourself, and just not paying attention to the haters or any sort of thing. That people are gonna have something to say. Just know your intentions and keep confident in yourself.
Yeah, so well said over there. And so what's gonna be like when football season starts at TCU, and for you to go to the games and possibly cover it down the line? But what's gonna be like seeing TCU, and then also seeing the fans there? They have a great fan base at TCU.
Yeah, so I am very excited to be able to go to these games. This is my college experience type of thing, but this is also a working experience for me. So I have to also think that way is yes, this is a social experience, like the college, the tailgates, like the football parties, student section. I'm excited to be a part of that, but I also have to think, hey, this is a reputation for me as well. This is working, this is business. I have to, kind of put the student part to the side and bring out more of the employee, broadcaster, reporter type journalist thing, but also have fun. Definitely. I'm very excited to see the fans, they're going to be my fellow classmates. So I'm very excited to learn the TCU way, the TCU Frog way. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys fandom and how you got started with that. And obviously your father, I'm sure, helped you out with that. But my father, actually, he brought me up as a Cowboy fan. He grew up, he went to boarding school in Arkansas, and he grew up watching Texas football and Cowboys football, and he was in Jerry Jones's world in Arkansas. So that's how he became a Cowboy fan. And he told me when I was I think 6 or 7 years old, the only way you're going to stay in his house if you become a Cowboy fan. So I was forced to be a Cowboy fan. So I bleed blue and silver until I die. So how did you become a Cowboy fan?
Well, so growing up, my dad was a football fan. He's not like a diehard football fan. I think I'm more of the diehard football fan. I get a little riled up on game day type of thing. But my dad, yeah, he grew up a Cowboys fan, but he also he moved around a lot. So he was also, he was around when it was the Houston Oilers and then transitioned to the Texans. So he watches the Texans, he watches the Cowboys. He says he's not a diehard Cowboys fan, but I see him on Sundays. So I definitely got that main influence from him growing up, getting to watch it on Sundays. It was kind of our bonding experience, and becoming a Cowboys fan. I think I followed in his footsteps. I was like, all right, I'm a Cowboys fan type of thing. And you're introduced to it, like you said, at a young age. And it's like, that's what I'm going to stick with for the rest of my life is I'm a Cowboys fan. And then it's just hard to get out of the hook of America's team. It's like, I like this team and I like this team and I like this individual player, but Cowboys, come on, y'all, get it together type of thing. I think now I'm obviously still a Cowboys fan, but I think I follow individual players a little bit more than teams altogether. But always at the end of the day, Cowboys from the beginning.
Yes, I mean, we had a few couple of former Cowboys on our show before too, and it was an honor talking to them and then finding out their experiences with the Dallas Cowboys and playing with them, and obviously it's a rich history, rich organization, and let's put your reporting skills to test, your sports journalism. What are your thoughts? What are you most looking forward to this season with the Dallas Cowboys? What are your thoughts on their off season and what can they improve on?
Well, I'm very excited to see a healthy Dak come back. He's been a little rocky these last couple seasons with his injuries, and it was definitely hard to see that one game where his foot just totally flipped around. I was like, oh gosh, and he was crying on the cart. I was like, my heart, my Dak. I was like, oh no. So it was hard to see that. I'm very excited to see a healthy Dak back. I'm hoping to have a season like we did unfortunately when Romo got injured and it was Dak off the bench type of thing. That was definitely when I got very interested in sports. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like what? He was behind Tony Romo and look at him go, and that season was incredible. I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to seeing Zeke. Zeke is a little bit of a hot topic with me in my household. He, we got a couple people. My dad is like, trade him. And I'm like, I don't know. I was a big Tony Pollard fan. Mm-hmm. I was like, he's incredible. Like he's doing great for filling in for Zeke. And so I'm very excited to see how they work. Defense wise, I think I hope a lot improved in the off season. There were a couple little mishaps last season where I think there were more that could be done to work on it. Like we didn't have, Sean Lee, our big guy. We had he would get injured, but he also played a huge part in like coaching the other guys, being that encouragement, being that mentor type. And it's definitely going to be hard. It's going to be weird to see the team without a couple of the, core guys that were there. I am very excited to, hopefully we lead the NFC East. I'm hopeful, but I'm also a realist. So, I don't know. But yes, just seeing everybody healthy and on the field. Hopefully, I'm hoping and praying everybody stays healthy through the season. I think a little bit of our coaching staff getting to talk to Rob Davis and Mike McCarthy, it was really cool. I talked to them a little bit about like just different random stuff. I was just asking them, I was like, what is it like? Like you're like, what is it like facing that criticism from fans? It's like they get blamed. It's like, but it's a team. So I hope to see more team, like working as a team type of thing. But yes, I have been following their off season. I talked to my rookie a little bit about what his off season looked like, coming in as a rookie. And he was like, it's been really weird, coming into the NFL, it's been scary. He was like, but this is where I want to be. This is the Cowboys. He was like, I understand why people stay with the Cowboys. I understand why their coaching staff is amazing, especially the rookies, mentors. He was like, I think I'll really thrive here. And I was like, great. I can't wait to see you on the field. I'm very excited. I'll be rooting for you always. I think definitely the Cowboys have a shot this year. Again, I'm a realist. So, you
Yeah,
never know with him.
No, I mean I feel confident, but it has to play out on the field. Obviously, everyone needs to stay healthy, and I have nothing against Coach Mike McCarthy, but I feel like this is his. He's going to be in the hot seat. This is his year. He has to do something pretty quick soon, and because who's waiting in the wings, Sean Payton, Jerry Jones.
I know.
Jerry Jones is eyeing Sean Payton, and I think if they don't go far enough. I would say if they don't make the playoffs or they lose in the first round, I hate to say this, but I think McCarthy's going to be gone, and I think I want Sean Payne as a head coach or whoever, someone else, but we got to find out, see what's going to happen, and obviously the rookie you talk to, he is surrounded by a great coaching staff, in my opinion. So
yes, they were phenomenal. They told us after we did our rookie interviews and we did our scouting reports on the rookies, and they were like, I did not know this about him. I don't know how you got it out of him. I definitely will be more sensitive to that kind of thing. They're coaches, they're running them on the field, they're doing this. They think of them as a person, but only, skin deep. It's not, they don't know. People hide things, it's part our responsibility was bringing out that vulnerability. And I think the coaches were really thankful for that because they can work around that with their rookies. They can be like, hey, this is this. And the rookies hearing team stories, they were like, wow, I did not know that. And the rookies were like, they were saying, I want my team to know if they ever need help with this or this or this, mental health, or if they're having issues, relationship problems, anything like that, doubts, please come to me. I've been there, type of thing. And it was really interesting to see because, it's these guys who know each other on the field, in the locker room, and got to know themselves a little bit more and know their team. And the coaches definitely were able to see a side of them that they did not know. And I think that will help them as a team, bonding wise, and just establishing more of that relationship to better them on the field, hopefully.
We have another fan question for you. They want to know, what are your thoughts on the Cowboys? What do you call it? Cowboys defense this year? They want to know, do you think they can have the same? They want to know, can they repeat from last year with Dan Quinn?
I am very hopeful. I really am more of a defense type of person. I love watching defense. I will be on my couch and I'll be like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Defense, come on. But defense and offense, defense gets tired if the offense isn't working, and the offense gets tired if the defense isn't working. And it's definitely a team skill. So for me, from my perspective, I was hoping to see more of an equal share of the work from each team, because it's their defense is on for way more than offense. They're running, they're tired. And then you can definitely tell there's a click, a switch when it almost is a no turning back type of part of the game where defense is just so tired. It's hard for them to come back. And I am a big Dan Quinn fan. I was excited to be in his space. It was cool to be able to know some things about him and to see more of what like he does in that area as a coach. And defense wise, so I'm a big Leighton Vander Esch fan. The Wolf Pack. I don't know if you're familiar with the Wolf Pack of the Cowboys. Yeah, the Wolf Pack. I followed them all on Instagram. I was like, this is cool. Like they formed a bond and they're incredible to watch on the field. So I definitely hope to see more of that. I believe he was injured last season. He was injured, so we didn't see him as much. And then, Sean Lee, former Cowboys player, was great to watch. And Jalen Smith, I was a big Jalen Smith fan, and to see him go was a little bit of a heartbreak, but I watched him wherever he went, and I hope the best for all of them. And I really this year I hope for a healthy defense.
Yeah.
For sure, because that's essential in winning games and working as a team.
I'm happy that we got the Wolf Pack back with the Liam
Yes.
And watch out for Micah Parsons. I feel like he's going to take an extra. Micah Parsons is a beast. I think he's a star.
I love Micah Parsons. Yes.
Yeah, he's a star.
He was, he was actually one of our last year or the year prior. He was one of the rookies that was picked for the Galvanize program. So one of my sisters from Galvanize was able to interview him and do his part. And also CeeDee Lamb, he was part of the rookies. So it's really cool to know that they went through the Galvanize program and to see them now. And one thing Laura mentioned was she was like, I'll have players come up to me on the field and be like, when are you doing Galvanize again? When are you doing Galvanize again? That was such an experience. And she was like, you can come anytime, like come hang with us. We'd love to see you guys. And just to know that we and the former sisters and Galvanize as a whole made an impact on them, it's like a feel-good moment, because it's like, oh cool, they actually respect us. They think of us as like a significant part of their career as well as we think of them as a significant part of our career.
We'll take one more fan question. Someone wants to know, have you considered starting a podcast also?
So I actually have. I love listening to podcasts. I'm a big podcast gal. I like talking. I love talking. I'm a big talker. So I think I would consider it in the future. I don't know if I do one alone. I definitely think I would have to have like another co-host, or a couple co-hosts as well, to have something to talk about, football, sports, life, kind of like how Carissa and Aaron do theirs. I love listening to Calm Down, so that would be a huge inspiration. As far as like knowing the instruments and equipment that you guys use, I have no clue. I'm not very technologically savvy. Yeah, your mic, I was like I have problem logging onto the internet. I'm not very good with technology. So that would be something I'd have to learn. And some of the people that I've met, they do podcasts and they do like filming and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's really cool. How did you learn that? And they're like, I just learned by myself, YouTube videos, watching people. And I was like, that's really cool. So I don't know if I'd start one soon, but it's definitely maybe on my bucket list to, mess around with it a little bit, play around with being in the podcast industry. I think it's really cool. I love podcasts. So yeah.
Hey, let me know if we can help. Our team can help you out too to start one.
Yeah.
Whenever you want to trade off, or you never know. You can join our team also down the line.
Awesome. Yeah, I that's great to hear. I would definitely, if I think about starting a podcast, I will definitely ask you guys lots of questions.
Yeah, so the last few things here, our team is part of this foundation. It's called the Hugh Jackson Foundation. We're trying to help him prevent human trafficking, making sure the community stays safe, the kids stay safe, and it's still horrible what we're seeing about human trafficking. We need to stop that. So we'll send you the foundation so you can go check it out.
Yes, please do. I'd love to post about it, link it everywhere. That's one of the big things that I've been looking at, especially with our current world and our country, and just seeing all the horrible things that are happening everywhere. And it's heartbreaking. And I would love, love, love to be a part of helping at least as much as I can to better how that is going.
And obviously it's just devastating with all the shootings that's going on, and the people have not learned yet of how serious this is, and it's just crazy. And so we got to do everything that we can in our own power to stop it. So, but yeah. But the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and all the essential workers right now?
Yes, I would love to say a huge thank you to all the essential workers right now. I have so much of my family are, nurses, they're doctors, they're nurse practitioners, stuff like that. And just personally, growing up having significant health problems, I have a huge appreciation for doctors, nurses, for CNAs, the people in the nursing homes, employees everywhere. I have a huge thank you because I could never do that job. It's so difficult. I don't think I could ever do it. So I'm just so, so thankful that there are people that have that in their heart to do that and to help people and be that person, be that change in our community to help. It's compassion and it's empathy. And I'm so, so thankful that there are people that have that in their heart to do that for our world and for our communities.
Yeah, well said. And before we close it out, would you like to plug anything to our fans, where they can find you and what's coming up next?
So my Instagram is just Alexandra Smith. There's like a dot in between the A and the L, but that's pretty much it. My Twitter is Alexandra RSMI, I think. It like changes. Yeah, I think. So Twitter, Instagram.
It's your first name and then together it's RSMI, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I knew I had it. All right, cool. So yes, that's my Twitter. You can find me there. Shoot me a DM. I don't look at my. I look if I get a notification, but I'm not a very active poster. I need to get better about that. But I'm more on Twitter than I am on Instagram. Upcoming, definitely. If you're a TCU fan, stay tuned because I'm going to be working with them. If you're a Dallas sports fan of any of those, Stars, Rangers, any of them, stay tuned because I'm hopefully going to be covering some of them. Upcoming, TCU is, if you're a Frog fan or if you're a collegiate sports fan, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about, the Big Ten change and all the different leagues are moving around and, how that impacts athletes, people, fans. And I'm trying to get a little bit more into that. I need to get better about posting, but yes, stay tuned. And then more Galvanize things. We have a lot of things upcoming, so I'm very excited for those as well.
Yeah, speaking of the Big Ten, 2024 is going to be a big change, obviously. UCLA, USC moving in. I live in Jersey, so we cover a lot of Rutgers down there. Yeah. So Rutgers just got a lot more competition in 2 years. So and they got
it was a big change.
They gotta fly 3 hours, 3 hours back, 3 hours. It's gonna be rough, but I think
that's crazy.
Yeah, but there it is. That wraps up episode 1026 with talented, inspiring, amazing sports journalist Alexandra Smith from TCU University. She's just starting out there, and man, like I said, amazing, talented, man. She's gonna be a great. She's already a star. So, but thank you for joining the show. It's truly an honor, and thank you to our fans for joining in and asking great questions to her. But Alexandra, I just want to say, keep up the great work. And like I said, good luck with TCU and everything. And we would love to have you back on the show at some point down the line so you can meet the full team. But
yes,
let us know if you need anything. My team will help you there, and especially podcast stuff. And but keep up the great work.
Yes, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. This was a huge honor. I enjoyed getting to talk with you, and hopefully we'll meet your team next time. I'm looking forward to talk to them as well. Thank you to the fans for asking the questions. They were great questions. I enjoyed my time, and I'm looking forward to getting to talk to you and your team in the future.
Yeah, let's go. And how about them Cowboys? There you go. I got to end it with
How
that.
about them Cowboys? Yeah. Let's go, boys.